A little bit over 4.5 years ago, we moved to the new house and we redid the whole kitchen. As you can see, there's a little bit of the whole renovation here, but that's gonna be on another video. In this video, we're gonna focus on the cabinet for the coffee station, and as you can see, it had these cute little open shelves that I was really into at the time, but with time comes experience, and I could see that there was a lot of maintenance and upkeep to do with them. So I took them off, and this is the look that we had for about a year. No shelves, just the holes on the wall. It looked horrible, but in this video we're gonna correct that. Hey guys, welcome to another ZussieMakesit. In this episode, it's a new project that I'm working on right now. It's gonna be for the kitchen, but this time we're gonna finish it off and be able to make a really nice cabinet. So lots of cool things that I want to do with it. So usually to go get the material, I go to the Home Depot or Lowe's to get the materials, but in this case I am going to recycle, upcycle, reuse, renew everything. It's gonna be some cabinets that I saw by the dumpster in my park, and they're in really good condition. So I'm gonna go get that. I need a screwdriver, I need my circular saw. Sometimes if I need to cut it up in pieces, I need to do that. So I'll take everything, my gloves, and let's go get it right now. Just documenting, this is the piece of furniture, and we did have to just turn this to unlock so that it could open up, so that it could let it out, and we didn't do that over here, but that's fine because this is a good piece, and then we're gonna take the other piece. My dad was not happy about this. It was a cold day. He did not want to get out from the house, and he was my only help though, so I really needed him to help me carry stuff, and we got it done as fast as possible. Okay, so we left this one because it's way too much, and then this one was way too heavy, and it's all MDF, and we did go with all of the boards. My dad is ready to go. Just a small trip to the house. I saw this idea on Instagram and I fell in love with this cabinet style. So I started searching on Pinterest, which didn't yield very much results, but what I had was enough to get going and just spark a little bit more of my imagination to do something for my own space. I'm measuring the top cabinet here that you see on the right because the one that I'm gonna make is gonna be exactly the same, except for the fact that it's gonna be a little bit more shallow. This one is 15 inches by 30 by 30, and the one that I'm gonna be making is gonna be only 12 inches depth. And the reason that I'm making my own cabinet is because Ikea didn't have the cabinet boxes available in the store, and they wanted to charge me a lot of money to ship it to my house. So I knew I could do it. Alright, so the type of material that I got is like this MDF. These are just shelves. The ones that I got, as you saw, are like the long, big chunks of MDF. And but I just wanted to show you it's this kind of material, and I'm going to be recessing the cabinet. This is the usual size depth for the cabinets that I have is 15 inches. I'm just making them 12 inches because I'm gonna make this kind of like a coffee station, like I was mentioning, a coffee station cabinet. It's gonna be in between all the cabinets. I want to make it special and different, and so making it recessed too is not gonna bring it forward, where if I'm doing my coffee or anybody is doing the coffee, you're gonna be with the cabinets almost right here in your face. I want them to be a little bit further in. We're just gonna be keeping them mugs and cups and things like that, and I'm gonna show you here this picture where it's got the top cabinets closed, and the bottom cabinet is going to be open for show. So these are and as you can see here, the material is brown, but I'm gonna paint this and make it white because you can use paint and transform things, so why not? And this is free material. I got at least, I don't know, maybe $200 worth of material there. It's a lot. So, and if I would have taken the rest, even more. So, but that's a lot. I was thinking of making a vanity as well with that material. So if I have time to go get it, I'll go get it. But right now, that's all I have. I already got the doors from Ikea, as you can see, and they're the nice white that are the same as my kitchen. So that's gonna be for the top, and this is just one. So it's gonna be really cool. Let's get started. Because this material had a different purpose before, I needed to take out all of the previous screws, the drawer slides, and cut off the parts that had big holes. And anything that was torn to be left with usable surfaces to make my cabinet box. Once everything was cleaned up, I mapped out my pieces to cut them and used my circular saw, my square, and painter's tape to minimize any tear outs and leave the edges nice and crisp. Okay, so as you saw, I had the masking tape here, and I ran it along the line. And so when I cut, I'm cutting on the inside, going up. So whatever the inside of your cabinet is gonna be, or your piece of furniture, flip it to that side, and that's gonna be, this is the inside part, and then the other side is gonna be the outside. So once you cut with the tape and flipping where the top part is your inside of your furniture, then when you cut, you're gonna get a better seam where it's not gonna tear off. If it does tear off, it's gonna be minimal, but it's gonna be in the inside and nobody will see it. Now let's check out the other side. I'm gonna flip it and show you the side that's gonna be for the outside. But as far as the cut line here, you can see that there is no tear out, and that is because I cut it upside down, where my inside is down here, and I had flipped it as I explained before. See how cool? Then I'm just gonna putty it because I'm just gonna paint this anyways. There's some really bad scratches. I should have used the other piece. I think it was better, but either way, this is how it's gonna be. We're gonna paint it anyways. Real quick, I also wanted to explain to you what I'm gonna be cutting. I need to do my box. The box needs to be an overall 30 inches wide, and what I'm gonna have is I'm gonna have my pieces that are gonna go vertical. They're gonna go in this way, right? I hope you can see there. I hope you can see. And then the middle piece that's gonna go horizontally is gonna be in between those vertical pieces. So this is just the regular size, whatever I'm gonna do, I'll show you later. But the size here is gonna be that I'm gonna cut the middle part, which is gonna go horizontally. I'm gonna measure how wide my material is on the sides. Usually it's like ½ inch of material, the one that I have right here. So out of the 30 inches, I'm gonna deduct, let's say it's ½ inch for each of the sides. So that's gonna be 1 inch total. So my middle piece here would be 30 inches overall that I need for the box to be, minus 1 inch for each ½ inch side. So that's 1 inch. That equals 29 inches. That's just my overall, so that you can understand. I think I'm gonna have to have some fractions in there for mine, but whatever you're doing, I just wanted to show you what it is. So This I would cut theoretically to 29 inches to make an overall of 30 inches wide. Did you get that? Okay guys, hopefully you got the idea and that didn't confuse you too much, I hope. But after I got all of my measurements, I got to cutting all of my pieces to make the box. It sounds simple enough, but you have to be super precise, and that is always something that makes me super nervous, and it's nerve-wracking. If you want to do something similar, I would recommend that you go with whatever your space needs and cut accordingly. So another thing that I did yesterday, I cut the boards to be the size that I need them to be, and I also had the time when I came back because we had to go do some errands with my dad. When I came back, I was able to come back and do this, which is just filling all the little holes that the material had, all the imperfections. And so, yeah, because here it was very scratched and I was like, oh no, but we're gonna paint it, and with that it's not gonna be a problem. So right now I'm just gonna let it dry a little bit more because I did it yesterday night. The good thing about things like this is that I didn't have to go do them outside. I could come here. I have a nice space here in the island where I can work. And what I used for this, I used my spatula. This one is from the Dollar Tree, which is something that you use for like Cricut and doing all your crafts, but I use it to mix this. And then I have my big spatula to cover the other stuff, like the big areas. And then I used just a scrap piece of plywood here. You can use anything. You can use paper, magazine paper. And then this is what I use, and I've been using as a wood epoxy. It's so good, guys. I got the tip from Modern Makeovers, and that was the tip of the day of my woodworking life. This is good stuff. You can use Bondo, but this is good. So I'm just gonna sand it later on and then paint it and then put the box together. And in the back of the open shelving, I want to do something cool. So I still don't know what it is, but we'll find out later, huh? So the boards have cured well over 2 days, 3 days I think now. And now I'm gonna be ready to sand. And I'm gonna do, I believe, 150 or 120. Let me here. 120 grit, which is not gonna be too harsh on this, but it's not gonna be too soft, so that I can work and just go past this putty and just kind of like scratch the surface of the veneer so that I don't like go through it, because otherwise I have to patch it again. So that's what I'm doing right now. Let's get to sanding. These pieces are the ones that will grab the inner hinge part of the door, so they go inside of the box. So installing them with great precision is essential. I had to put the doors and measure exactly where it all hung and drilled to install. Okay, so I just fitted the doors, and this is the most nerve-wracking, guys. It is off by like less than an eighth, but you know what? I'm just gonna leave it like that. If you see it, comment below. Doing this side over here that you see where the doors are, they're gonna be white, so I'm gonna paint it all white. And then this material has a veneer, so I'm gonna use this bottom part to be open. So this whole part right here to go down, it's gonna be open, and it's gonna be stained in a color that I'm gonna determine soon. I don't know what it is, but I've been trying some stains, and we'll see what happens. The back of it is gonna have a cool design, so that's gonna be a surprise for the end, or probably not. I don't know. I'll probably show you how I do it too. But these are gonna be where I already fitted the Ikea doors, and they look nice. And then the bottom part is gonna be open shelf, and it's gonna be cool. As I sanded, I revealed that the veneer actually looks like wood. So that was a super cool thing that I discovered, a very pleasant surprise, and which means that I'm gonna be able to just stain the bottom part to make it different from the rest of the cabinet, which is gonna be painted white. The first thing that I did all around, because I was gonna paint it white and I didn't want to sand all the way to reveal the veneer, is that I sealed the whole thing with a clear. And what this does is that it's basically gonna lock in the red color that you see there, and it's not gonna let it seep through or weep any color. After that, I went with a white spray, and I was using all of my sprays. I'm trying to use all of the materials that I have so that I don't end up with a bunch of stuff in storage. And so once I was done with the sprays, I had to start using some paint that I had in semi-gloss. I did a few coats of the white all over, and then I let it dry, but I was really anxious to get to my next stage. This was the moment of truth, and I was not disappointed. Check it out. This was finally looking promising after all of that work that we did with sanding, cutting, making it all into pieces that were going to be usable. I could see almost the end result here. I was just putting the back pieces for the bottom part of the cabinet. These two pieces are not only for looks, they're also going to be a support for the back and the structure of the whole cabinet. And I'm also going to put one at the very top. I'm trying to figure out the stain color for my cabinet bottom part, and I'm really having a hard time. I've done special walnut, whitewash. The veneer is a little bit reddish, as you can tell, and the original material, which is the one that I got from the dumpster, had this really dark reddish color. So let me show you here. Oh, well, I have it right here. It's this one. This one right here. So as you can see, totally red. This is looking a little bit more muted now that I sanded it, but I need to figure out how to make this feature that I did for my bottom part pop and, you know, make it stand out. So I'm having a hard time. I'm thinking I'm just gonna whitewash it, not as dark as this one, but maybe more just like this so that it's muted, and hopefully the pine will stand out. Then we have the black at the back. I was trying to match it to the doors here, but it's not matching up. It's becoming, this color here is a little bit more on the orangey side. This is more grayish, and I'm not sure if any of these will do. But once I have it on here, I want the background to stand out. So I don't know what to do, guys, what to do. Comment below what you think would be a good combination. I ended up using weathered oak to stain the pieces, and then I did a light whitewash all over so that I could match everything, and I did the same for the bottom of the cabinet. The bottom and the top of the cabinet needed a veneer strip to match the colors, so I did a white one for the top. Thankfully I already had that, and also a wood one for the bottom, and then I had to stain it. I also did the finish with a polyacrylic all over the bottom part of the cabinet. That way I could seal the stain and make it nice and smooth. I also sanded in between and did all that you need to do. So there was some roughness all around. So in between coats of paint or coats of the clear, you always have to do like a soft sanding in between. This one is 150. You could do 200 or even more, 400 if you wanted, and just lightly sand where you feel the roughness. I feel some roughness here, and you can actually tell there's some roughness here. So I'll go with the grain. Here I went against the grain, and you can see the difference. You have to go with the grain, even though this is veneer. Go with the grain, and then lightly sand. And then once you do that, you're gonna be ready, clean it up, and then be ready to do your second coat, and you should be set. Sometimes you do a third coat, but it's up to you. I do 2 coats. If I feel good, I leave it there. At this point, I had already considered success because this looks so good, but we still needed to install. So I got to cleaning the area, clearing everything, and started to make space so that we could hang this cabinet. When you're installing upper cabinets, you need a riser to be able to help yourself and put it in place. Otherwise, it's really impossible to hold it and try to screw it into the wall. So that's what I got. I got a little table, and then I just added some height with some boards until I got to the right height. Once I did that, my mom also helped me to put everything in place, and then I attached the cabinet to the next cabinet so that they could be nice and secured, and then on top of that I went in and screwed to the wall. I started threading some LED lights that I got because this is gonna be a high impact cabinet because we're gonna have a light show. Originally, the cabinet that is next to the cabinet that I'm building right now was gonna have a light feature, but I decided not to go with that. So I do have an outlet right in there, and that's gonna help me to attach the lights. Worked perfectly. I had to move my riser, so that was a little bit of a moment of truth, but everything was fine because it was attached next to the next cabinet, and all I had to do was finish putting the screws that were gonna go on the wall. I continued installing the lights, and I had to figure out the shape and where I was going to be putting all my lights. I was really happy because these LED lights were really long and they had a certain length, and then you were able to add more to them. So I was able to play and figure out how I wanted to put the lights. So we're gonna finish off doing the coffee station, and as you can see, there is this beautiful display in the back. I love how it turned out, and we did some lights. I installed the lights here up on top, and then also at the bottom. I had just done the top, but then I saw that the bottom needed also some lighting to be able to see what you have here in the counter. And one of the things that I used is this diffuser, which comes separately. You have to order it separately, but it's super easy to install and it's very inexpensive as well. And it comes with everything so that you can hook it up and install it to your station. You can see the lights are very bright and it kind of hurts your eyes when you see them directly, and that's what had been happening. I left these lights for a long time and now we're finally finishing off this project. But as you can see here, this is the lights without any diffuser, and the ones that are here up on top and these that I already installed are the ones that have the diffuser, and looks really polished, nice, professional, and it just elevates the whole thing. We are gonna be styling everything and getting everything nice and pretty, especially now that it's fall season. I'm gonna style it with a little bit of that fall season touch. And I just wanted to mention too here the doors. I haven't found the knobs because I found them, the original ones that I did in the beginning of the kitchen renovation. I got them from, I believe it was a World Market, but those were kind of scarce as well when I ordered them. So now I have to figure out if I can find those. Otherwise, I'll have to do something about the door pulls here. So let's go ahead. I'll show you how I do the installation, and we'll finish off with styling. I'm excited. Let's go. Right here, you can see that I already installed this first run. See, the lighting is gonna change a little bit, but trying to make it less bright. So I already installed this first one. The good thing about these pieces is that you can cut them because the aluminum is really light. So if you just use a saw, it'll be perfect, and just cut it to the length that you need. I'm gonna use a smaller length here for this piece that I'm going to cover, and then I'll do 2 full pieces in the back. These are the brackets that it comes with. It comes with a bunch because there's several of these that it comes with. so it's got plenty enough to do all of the aluminum runs. And all I have to do is pre-drill up there, and then just use the screw, and I'll show you how it all comes together. So I already cut my piece to length, and all I'm gonna be doing is aligning here to the other piece that I have right next to it and mark it. I had already done that so that I could have everything aligned. And another thing that I did was I used a piece of wood, which was gonna give me the exact dimension where I want my piece to go. That way everything is running horizontally at the same length, and it doesn't go like this. And that way I can ensure that everything's nice and straight. Okay, so you're gonna be pre-drilling first. And all I do is put my bracket and then a small drill bit that matches or is either the same width as my screw, or I try to make it a little bit thinner. That way, if it's bigger, what happens is that you're not gonna be able to put in your screw inside. It's just gonna drop and go through. Another thing is clear your area. Get rid of everything. And then just drill enough so that you can screw it in. And then it's easy as pie to get it screwed in. Our plastic cover is really easy to cut, so all I'm gonna do is mark it where I need to cut. Okay, so you're gonna be marking a little bit bigger, and then I had already started a little bit of the scoring with my utility knife. Hopefully it's not too hard, but if you find a little bit of resistance, just keep going and be careful as you score a little bit at a time. Okay, I found that if you do the sides first, it's good because it helps and it slides down easy here, and then yeah, just like that. So then once that's installed, and I have already put the lights in, but now we're gonna put in this here, and this just basically snaps into place. For these end pieces, I'm gonna be using this double-sided tape, and this is the end of it. So I barely have enough to just do, I'm gonna just stick one piece of tape here and another here. And this will go right here. It's just a little run, so it's not gonna be too heavy. And I can just put it here so it looks nice, and we have, and we can have the lights nicely diffused. I'm no expert in styling, but I will say that my method is to use things that I love and that I will see every day and will make me happy and bring a smile to my face, either by reminding me of a place that I love, like my Guatemala. I used my quetzal, it's a little bird in green that you see there at the left, and some of the things that my brother has brought from his travels, and pumpkin stuff for the fall season. Plants are always something that I love because it just brightens up the space. And here, the little cup from Washington is where my sister is right now with her family. I just put anything and everything that I love and that makes me happy. I really loved how everything turned out, and my idea, how it was in my head, putting it into actual reality is awesome. I love that I get to see this every day and enjoy it. I thank God every day for everything that I'm able to do here, and I hope that it gives you ideas for your home as well. Until next time, guys, God bless you.